fine. They're, they're tactically interesting, but we'll do some upgrades here. I don't think you guys want to see, beat down after beat down. So we'll probably just edit that out. In fact, with Isla becoming her own clan, I think this is a good spot to, let's just start an episode right here. We'll break it. Welcome back again, friends, to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment's YouTube channel. Our channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related. Welcome back to our Epic Nord campaign. Glaron Heavyhand holding the center of the map here in what has been a wild and chaotic campaign. We remained allied with the Northern Empire. We'll give you a little bit of a diplomatic and overview here at the start of an episode. 17 more days before our alliance breaks down. We are going to try to renew it, right? We have money and it's been favorable. We need to talk about Isla and Vigridir. We do have a new companion clan in this campaign. Isla's been a great supporter of us. In fact, her character copy-pasted into our campaign almost from the outset, and we have given her Diathma. Now, you look at it and say there's not a great defense force there, right? It's a small militia force, a modest garrison, but it's encircled by friendly forces here. We took a couple locations out east, and to the south, we have Northern Empire support. It's been pretty awesome to have this alliance. They're pushing back against the Khazate. In fact, they're sieging right there. And they have circled all the way out west. They're fighting the Vlandians as well, right? So it's a coalition campaign and it's been a lot of fun. Now, Isla, again, this character copy-pasted into our campaign, is a great leader, right? Look at her stats, 300 medicine. So she's going to be leading very capable armies and troops with extra hit points. We're going to turn her loose, right? We've got to add influence. We're also going to make a new party, and here, perfect. This is Eric the Red's wife, right? We got to get her set up with some troops here. But we've been requiring troops, we've been consolidating and very slowly leveling our Marines. We continue to pick up especially Imperial Infantry because they're very quickly able to turn into lethal Marines. These guys here, right, this troop line straight to shipmate is extremely potent, especially with an army like ours that really takes advantage of skirmishers in this campaign. If you're playing a Nord campaign, I strongly advise you to go get some Nautes. Help you on the water too. Now, Thunar Blair, this actually makes sense, and let me show you why. He's got at least 2 points. We're going to boost his medicine skill, right? You're saying, well, this guy's a warrior, right? We are pushing Thunar Devon Blair up as a warrior, but these skills benefit the warrior. Extra hit points, recovered hit points after battles. Very nice to be able just to plug these guys into the medicine surgeon lead. They'll be in charge of the party for literally a battle or two, and it's very unlikely that that'll cause a major negative repercussion. Meanwhile, they get all kinds of benefits as the surgeon. So just little tips like that we will continue to try to sprinkle into this campaign, trying to entertain and educate at the same time. That's the best way to learn, is when you're educated, or is when you're entertained because you barely realize that you're in school, right? This is Bannerlord Epic Campaign School, and of course a lot of the guys are just here for fun. Now, this is a continuing theme. The Nords, these scumbags, are raiding their own villages. They're lighting on fire their own fucking villages here. We've got to head north. In fact, we're probably going to get besieged eventually, right? They are wearing the cities down, and that's usually a precursor to attack. So there's two purposes here. We're going to go north. We're going to keep these other clans. Hopefully they can hold the mainland, right? The homeland, while we head north. The north is the real true Nord homeland, but we've got to get food up there. If we can, we're going to stock the garrisons there. And this is just a process that I've found necessary in a campaign, unless you buy yourself a bunch of clans, right? If you're operating with a light crew like we are, you want to continue to try to keep the boundaries of your empire strong. And one of the ways you can do that is by feeding these large garrisons, right? We've got 460 troops here. I'd like to leave 500 plus at Omor, because Omor could be besieged while we leave, right? We really are juggling these 4 different kingdoms. And this is how real warfare was like back then. You had to make triage decisions with your troops, with your resources. Now, we've stockpiled food for a long time in this campaign, and it's starting to become a little bit more precious, right? I don't want to take huge amounts now for 2 reasons. First, we'll be encumbered, but also we've got to make sure that we build these supplies back up, because you can't just continually pull from a savings account. Eventually it's expended. I think we'll leave a little bit of food here. Yeah, we've got to at Omor. Otherwise, this garrison will be starved out. Not to mention it hurts your prosperity to go to 0 food in a city. Of course, people leave if there's no food in a city. I don't see really any equipment here. So it might not be exciting, but we're going to continue to show you the edges of a campaign around all the carnage, right? We've got Merrick Seranus, our Northern Empire diplomat here. He's a diplomat, he's a governor, he's a warrior, right? The guy does it all. He contributes to our Patreon. We appreciate it, brother. Thank you for joining this campaign. It's been great to have you along. Now, keeping an eye on all our different fiefs, and usually it happens at least once an episode. Hit a frog in your throat, and there's not much you can do about it other than just push through it. Now, I'm alarmed that they're not forming any armies, but I do have our strategy set to defensive. This is one of the... Oh, shit. Well, that's handy timing, depending on the size of the force. Oh, shit. I don't know if we can make it there. It's going to be close. We might have to jettison some equipment here. Damn, that sucks, because the whole purpose of this, of course, is to get food up there, and we have to dump our food. It halfway defeats the purpose. And take a look here. You know, one thing we can do is we can dump equipment into the sea, and with the perks we have, what it does for the equivalent here is yeah, it's going to give our troops some experience, right? So we quickly turn some of our mediocre skirmishers into better skirmishers. I almost consider this an exploit. It's so easy to upgrade an army. And we're not going to do this very much for the campaign, but here I need to do it for speed, right? I'm just simulating we're dumping all of our loot over the side of our longboats here because we're encumbered. And we're in a little bit of a race to get to Tharcliffe Castle. So a little bit problematic there. So anyways, so your companions that are down there, we have about 12 armies now. We have 3 minor clans and 2 companion clans, and those clans will make armies, right? They will, only the leader, no, that's not true. Any of your companion leaders, so in this case, Isla, they will, Sigvatar Thordarson, they will make armies, but also their vassals can make armies as well, right? They have enough influence to be able to do that, but primarily you're getting your player clan leaders are the ones making armies, and of course your minor clans will not make armies. So the benefit here, and I just don't want to leave the food. The benefit here is the minor clans give them armies to call, right? Otherwise you would have like 4 armies to call, right? Now I don't know why Chara is not joining us here. We got a disobedient. She looks disobedient. She's got a scar across her face. She's telling her husband what's up, right? She's married to Eric the Red here. And it's going to be close. Man, it's really tempting to dump food, but I think we're going to take a chance. There's a large garrison there. There's 400. If we do make it, it'll be close. The good news is it's going to wear down the king's army, and this is a good chance at revenge, right? King Canute, this fucking guy tried to assassinate Glaron Heavyhand, tried to assassinate our character, and we're going to take it out on his ass here as long as we can make it. 219. We got this shit. Now, the king is powerful, right? The king is all kinds of amplified for this campaign. He's got like 400 medicine skill or something like that. So his troops are way off the charts stronger than normal. So you don't fuck around with a battle like this, right? This is probably not a battle we're going to lose, but you don't know. I have lost battles against uber opponents before. That's a hard decision. All those... I don't like recruiting prisoners unless you absolutely have to, because we might need them later. It's a tough one though, man. You lose this kind of a battle and you just look like a buffoon. And we don't save scum for these campaigns, right? If the characters get killed, look, he's begging for peace here right before we attack. I don't think so, King. Come get some. Now, there's 1,000 here, but there's definitely a possibility of reinforcements. I want a little bit more daylight so you guys can see what's going on, so I can see what's going on here. And I'm worried about the homeland, but obviously this is too good of an opportunity to pass on, right? It's been a while since the Nords made a direct attack. They've been doing a lot of raiding. And this is our chance to corner and trap the king. And look at that. The power bar is almost equal, despite the fact that we seriously outnumber them. We haven't been fighting much in the north, and that's the nature of a Nord campaign. That's the bottom line. Unless you're getting blown up in the north, you end up fighting elsewhere, which is kind of a bummer, because I think a lot of people want to fight in these majestic landscapes. I can say that I've fought in most of the landscapes with the DLC, with war sales, and they are massive. I think this is intentional, but the battlefields, most of them are 1,200 meters square. Not even square. They're 1,200 meters in every direction. So they're vast. to an imposing size. And I don't like what I see here, man. At least our first division looks good. There was a bunch of weak troops in our second division. Well, this is why. Our skirmisher division, we probably need to shrink this. We've got an incredibly powerful 6th division, and that's the division, of course, that Glaron Heavyhand is leading. I always recommend you have a Doom division. His perks are amazing, right? He's got 280-something and all the weapon skills, throwing, athleticism. He knows how to make a nice cup of espresso. He does everything well, right? He does foot massages. Glaron Heavyhand is an all-world destroying being, and you want all those perks translating to all these different Nautes that are in there. There's probably some Huskarls, maybe even some Skjoldbristiers. Basically, it's a bunch of nasty guys. And they have a lot of infantry here, and we have a giant sprawling landscape. Now, I wish they had more troops so that it was a very stressful battle, right? I try not to ruin the suspense for you fellas, but generally speaking, when you outnumber the enemy with tactics, you're gonna win. And it's not like our army is Swiss cheese. We do have a couple hundred weaker troops. Now, this is a nice Napoleon-esque type knoll here where I can just stand and command, at least see the initial stages. I've got a cav division. Glaron Heavyhand hates his fucking cavalry, so he's going to make them get off their horse and stand here, get shot, and protect him basically from cavalry charges. And a beautiful spot, right? If you can find a spot like this in a battlefield, especially if you got a shield, especially if you got hit points like Glaron Heavyhand, it is superior for commanding. I can see everything for hundreds of meters. I can throw throwing axes from here, but visibility and the ability to look over the whole battlefield and make decisions is numero uno for a good commander. And I like what I see here. It's a bunch of infantry, but we've got just the medicine that ails us, right? We've got all these skirmishers over here with shock troops behind them, a huge amount of archers. We've got some dipshit horse archers here that can get off their horse, and they can help protect our right flank here. And they're shooting. No more shooting, you dipshits. I just want them standing there. Now, the 6th Corps here, we're trying to conserve ammo, but there's a lot of troops sort of sprinkling in here, and I would love for them to form a shield wall. If you can do a bunch of damage to this initial line, usually they will form a shield wall. If they don't, it can actually be detrimental to your strategy, because instead of attacking you in a big glob where you can manipulate it, they come in a huge zerg like this, and it's more chaos. It's too much chaos, really, to glean major advantages. We do have superior position. Archers, skirmishers, just blasting the enemy from over here. We'll try to brighten it so you can see who's who. I'm swinging at my own troops. That's always a telltale sign I can't see. We'll pressure the enemy from their right flank and wait on the left. I think we want them biting on that right before we give them a misdirection assault. And of course, King Canute, his perks are transferring to these units as well, right? These units are going to have excellent weapon skill, all kinds of perks. But look at this angle. Our skirmishers are just dumping on the flank. Our archers are raining in here. And I think this is a perfect time just to envelop and charge. Now, they got a lot of archers still, but if they regroup, that'll basically clear them out. And no matter what, right, we've got to destroy the infantry. Can't charge all that archers and have their infantry rip up our main force here. So in we go. And kill all these traitor Nords fighting for the wrong leader. Now, there was a Nord army of over 2,000 a while ago, but I think they're getting beat down. Occasionally, they're at war with the Northern or with the Vlandians. I beg your pardon. And so, of course, what's happening is they're getting weakened in between our battles. And I think the Nords they're almost out of this campaign. As much as I'm sure some guys would love for them just to keep on going, I'm not going to artificially keep these kingdoms alive. Right? We're playing this campaign with 5%. 5% of it is contrived, and 95% is just organic here. The kingdoms, if they survive, they survive. And right now, the Nords here are on their deathbed. Glaron Heavyhand is coming in with the heavy hand, right? Chasing down their flag bearers. Look at this fucker blocking everything. Block that, crush through Just overwhelm the guy with sheer power. Oh, that's a nice parry you have. Parry this. And you just smash him. I wish crush through was more common. In fact, there should be crush through for side attacks too. If you're swinging a huge heavy axe with a skilled axeman, right, a 7-foot tall Nordic warrior, you're not parrying it with a little tiny hand dagger. Your dagger would get blown out of your hand or your wrist would get broken. But alas, we'll have to wait. Uh-oh. They might be turning to fight. It looks like they're routing, but they are forming an archer line here, so. And, you know, sometimes you see this, even though we've got the enemy on their back foot, the king is there, right? And so their leadership, all their perks, they won't rout. They're going to fucking fight. They're going to try to hold on here. And there could be reinforcements too, right? So we don't want to stand on ceremony too long here. Let's just put the boot on the neck here and start putting all our weight on them. They get the 6th division behind them, in fact. That way they can't even get to reinforcements. Not just a flank, but let's get them behind the fucking enemy. And the whole time, look at how beautiful it is. They're just sprinkling in, almost like, you know, they're kids at a Halloween door. Here, we've got some tricks for you kids. It's called a javelin in your spleen. Now we can have these guys pour in, and these archers can't escape. They're completely surrounded. In we go. The screen lights with green, if you know what I mean. And not a single enemy Nord will be left seen. Strike him in the eyes or between, and we'll stop running like a stupid idiot. I kicked that guy to death. I fucking love that shit. I wish I had a mod where every kick, this is Sparta, right? He'd fucking yell. That would be fucking great. One of the iconic scenes. Kicks the diplomat down the well. And we kicked this fucking Nord. We ripped the bastards. That's about right. This was a strong Nord force, and we blasted them, killed one of their lords. The sheer power of the heavy hand is starting to envelop Calradia, and it remains an open question whether or not anything can stop this juggernaut of a beast. And indeed, the king is captured. It's captured by Yoon of the Lake Rats, but how this will work is I'm almost certain they will dump him into the dungeon here at Tharcliffe Castle. We own Tharcliffe Castle. That means we're going to be able to go visit the king, and it's about time we paid a visit to our betrayer. Motherfucker tried to assassinate us at Epicrocia. Of course, if you missed that episode, you missed a lot. There was a pretty obvious attempt. The king warned Glaron Heavyhand, said he had one more chance, and as soon as he left the citadel, armed forces attacked Glaron Heavyhand and his force. So we've got to pay the king a little visit here, and then get some food. We got to get over to both of these cities and get some food over there. This was just a side mission, but obviously a very valuable one at that.
He is to the right, Jarl, in the first cell of A block.
Glaron Heavyhand, my old friend.
Ah, Canute Forkbeard, my betrayer. Don't think I will ever forget what happened at Epicrocia.
Glaron, those were not my mercenaries. Somebody else wanted you dead, don't you see?
Oh yes, that was just a coincidence then, huh?
Listen to me. If I wanted you dead, I would have killed you with my own hands. You were like a son to me.
Nah, you needed someone else to do your dirty work to prevent the other nobles from rebelling. Well, now the tables are turned, and I'm the one going to be dictating terms.
Our clans need peace. You can have a top role in the upcoming...
My turn to interrupt. Here's the only offer you're going to get, my king. Fight for me. Pledge allegiance to our clan, and endorse me to the other nobles as king, and then your house can return to favor.
The Forkbeards do not surrender, and I will never fight for you, Glaron. You haven't the slightest clue how to run...
Oh, no? Oh, you'll fight for me, all right, whether you want to or not. You fucked with the wrong Viking, my king, and now your reign has ended.
visit the old guy in the prison, and it seems like we need to do something here with King Canute, right? It's definitely fitting the storyline here as Glaron Heavyhand takes him prisoner, and maybe this young lady can join our kingdom. We'll definitely be gentle with her. She's actually another one of the submitted characters that's part of this campaign. That is copy-pasted from somebody's campaign. I love it, right? However, we're still going to take your character prisoner. We got Freydis. Eiríksdóttir is another character we've added to the campaign. It's starting to get thick with different characters, of course. Some of these are Patreon supporters and elsewise. So maybe we can add another clan. And of course, we're definitely going to take the king. The reality is this castle, we can't hold it, at least not right now. The basic way I would explain this for newer players is when a castle area gets starved out, all the villages here are burned out, you can't count on there being enough food for the garrison to eat. And so the best thing to do is just to strip the castle of its resources. We'll come back later on and re-garrison this. But the garrison's going to starve. If this gets sieged, even a week later, the garrison will starve right away. So we'll empty the cache here. I think we kept some horses and food. Yeah, we try to keep supply depots, right? We learned from Napoleon, Alexander, and otherwise. Although Alexander did more like, scavenging style. Napoleon was a big believer in supply depots. We're going to learn from the greats and apply that to Bannerlord. And all of the villages here are smoking, so we got to restock Gretisfjord, and then we'll probably head south, right? The action remains in the south, even though the Nords may continue to encroach here in the northwest. They still have the island of Valvik. It's been a long time since I looked, but I'm sure they still have Valvik. Now, Gretisfjord is something we do want to hold, right? So the difference is that you can much more easily subsidize the food of a city than a castle. So we'll take those troops. We can put some of them at Gretisfjord, and this is nice. Who is Oshir? They're finally gathering an army. We gave all these guys troops and these clans influence, and I don't know who Oshir is. That must be, I mean, it's obviously from one of our two companion clans. But that's good news, right? That's a force finally out there besides ours. You can't juggle the whole map by yourself, especially as you start to expand. And Oshir, huh? And we're going to have peace. Our poor nobles don't understand the rules of this campaign. Some of it is contrived, right? Will we allow peace with one of these kingdoms at some point? Maybe, especially if it fits the storyline. Right now, hell no. And so Vigridir here, that is Oshir. That's one of, essentially, Isla, that's one of your vassals. Feel free to boss them around. Of course, it's not actually a character. Every once in a while, people want to be the vassal of a companion clan, right? However, they can be involved in the campaign, and sometimes those players become significant parts of these campaigns, right? So we get death. There's going to be death. That's all there is to it. And the Death for All mod is cranked, and there's going to be violent battles. So Gretisfjord's a different story here, right? We've got let's try this first. We don't want her to escape. Azra de Pajrat, pirate queen here, and she's not interested even in discussing her allegiance. Of course, Glaron Heavyhand has all the charm of a rainy day, and breath smells like onion. It's amazing that we were able to charm the Skolderbroda earlier. It was like a miraculous encounter. And this is what I mean. See, we have food stocked here. We have horses stocked here. We can leave all kinds of goods. And so again, we'll try to leave these campaign strategic nuggets for you fellas while we have some fun and have some epic battles. The bottom line, though, is that the North doesn't seem to be very active. And part of the reason, of course, is that the Khazate, the Aserai, the Vlandians, they have more convenient targets. Right, we have Diathma, we have Omor, we have Varcheg. There's a lot of, we don't have Varcheg anymore, but we have the other V, the Varnovapel. We've got a lot more convenient targets for them, and so they're not going to come up here and siege a city of 1,000. What they will do is raid your villages, and to counter that, we're going to dump food on the population. You could see there's like 600 collective food here. We're going to dump 3,000 on it. So it's a steady game of transfer. And some guys hate this shit, but I think it's fun, right? I think the logistics of it, planning it out, right? We're literally running up to this castle and city just to buttress the defenses. Of course, I'm looking for goods in the market. You're always doing that. And I try to bring back a distinctive Nord flavor when we come up here. So we're going to grab some Nords and leave some non-Nords. I've got to leave a good garrison here. And So if we have any sturgeons, or maybe I don't really want to leave our Naute. We can leave a few archers, and then we can leave some of these lower level troops. I like 800-900 in a critical city like this. And, you know, at this stage, all of the Nord cities are critical for us, right? We've got all three, all but the island, right? We have Thronderlag, we have Hargard. I haven't even looked at Hargard in a long time because it just doesn't seem to be on the Khazait's mind, right? So we've got these 3 Nord cities, and they provide us a huge amount of money, and so we want to continue to protect them. But that, you know, requires these little trips. So a lot of times I don't film this, although there's shit going on here. I'm gonna keep narrating. A lot of times I just do this stuff in the background and don't film it. Guys don't want to listen to me drone on for a 500-hour episode. And look at this shit. This is freaking great. This is our ally defending. And I want to get down there. I'm eager to get into the fray. That's our ally defending against Khazait scum. We've got an army down there. I mean, you guys say I'm passionate sometimes. I just love the fray, right? Get me on a dodgeball team. I'm 50. I'll crush the other team. I will injure guys. I will play ruthlessly. I'm just a competitive alpha male, right? So bring the fray to me here. And they did. It's almost like they listened to me. What do we got here? Oh, shit. Oh, shit, indeed. We've got our first mega Vlandian force. We had a force of 7,800 earlier in this campaign. Then they had a force of 7,200. This is the first really big force. And I don't know if we can make it there in time, but Omor is a must try to save city. We've got really nice equipment there. We've got a bunch of food and goods. And I think we'll make it, but, you know, it's snowing. We're encumbered. And we've got a lot of forces sort of trudging on our boats. They haven't quite started yet. I think we're going to make it. There's some luck to it, and of course it's snowing, so it's going to be hard to trudge up to land to get into it, and we won't be able to participate. We won't be able to attack the blockade. We're going to have to, you know what, this is going to be a siege defense. If you remember the rules we've set for ourselves, we can't sneak in with more than 1,000, and they must have more than 2,500. Both of those are going to be possible because, I'm trying to think here, I'm simply going to drop one of these armies that's with us. Maybe that's a little bit artificial, but you have to understand this whole campaign is a little artificial, right? We can win a Bannerlord campaign in like 10 years. What's the fun in that, right? Ultimately, you want some fun with Bannerlord, and so we have a few self-imposed rules here. If we sneak in with 2,000 here, the battle's over. Everybody knows that. Now, this city, I'm trying to think, is not the layout it used to be, and maybe we won't make it. We are trudging. Come on, man. Get the fuck onto the shore. Go away, Futar. God, if we do make it, it's going to be barely. Okay, we got it. 140, 130. There's going to be a skeleton crew. And part of the reason we haven't been doing this is not realistic. You would have to attack this force from outside the city. They would never let a force a third of their size just march in the postern door here. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I just want a little more daylight for the fight. I like a little bit of sunrise for you fellas for a little castle defense. A lot of guys really want this too, so we're going to mix some of these into the campaign. This is, after all, you guys are here to be entertained. This means absolutely nothing other than the entertainment and the joy of your life, right? Let's all be Epicurists, right? If you don't know who that is, basically a philosopher from thousands of years ago whose basic philosophy was enjoy life as long as it doesn't harm other people, right? That's the easiest way to summarize his very complex philosophy. And that's what we're going to do here, right? No people were injured in this siege defense, but lots of Vlandians were dismembered. We're going to go in here with a pretty damn good army. And it's, I'm trying to think, I think it's the Revel keep layout, which is terrible for siege defense. So we may need all these troops. Buckle up. And of course, we're playing against enhanced PED, performance enhancing drug enemies here. This is going to be interesting to say the least. Battlesize mod is ripping, so there's going to be units everywhere. That's why it takes a while to load sometimes. The system is like, oh fuck, there's a lot of shit here to sort through. We got thousands of troops. It's too bad they can't have like 5 siege towers, because that would make battles like this completely chaotically epic. But it's still going to be fun. They got ladders on the left here. We should be able to destroy that siege tower, and we want that fire catapult center cut to where that siege tower is coming. So somewhere towards the middle here makes sense to me. And then over here can just be regular catapults. We've got a fire ballista. What do we got going on here? I gotta sit up close. It's hard to see exactly what we're looking at. It's gonna be coming right about there. And you see how it's a problematic city. It's narrow. There's a lot of fucking buildings. They must have a population problem here. Too many people, because they're building hovels and gigantic houses right next to the wall. And that's going to be a problem. This is also a problem. We need to trick out our banners for siege. Marco, we need you to have better banners here, buddy. It's all your fault, Marco. I'm going to blame you if we lose this siege. We got to get you a decrease taken melee attack damage banner. That way you can be the 1st Division captain for this siege. And Eric the Red is getting there, but, you know, a lot of these characters are still developing. I guess Askalad's got a good banner. We could stick him in the 1st Division. Yeah. We don't have 3 archer captains either. We got to develop more. Of course, some of the children of Glaron Heavyhand are going to be archers, and it'll be interesting to see how far along the campaign goes with these children. Don't rule out another extension of this campaign right down the road. Potentially even another DLC. Now, what I'm really hoping in the future is DLCs can be tacked right onto your current campaign, right? They just, a new enemy pops up on the map, maybe some new features, instead of the DLC where you had to start a new campaign. But no matter what, we'll make it work, and it's been fun. It's been fun building up this mini army that Glaron Heavyhand has, right? He's got 16 children with Gulta the Pez Dispenser. She doesn't like that nickname. She's told me that. She's sent in a complaint to our email. Our email said, I don't like the connotation Pez Dispenser. You can just call me a highly fertile, badass woman. And I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what I'll call you. You woman with an axe. And 1st Division can be small for now. And you see the problem I have here. I cannot get my normal archer array. I've got 6th and 7th over here. I'm not even sure the 7th can shoot because they're on the opposite side of the square. I think this 4th Division, yeah, they do. They have tons of javelins. So I got a bunch of misfits parts here. And I don't mean to call you Patreon and other supporters part of the campaign misfits. It's a bad city layout. We don't have as many archers as I'd like. Although actually, yeah, we do. We got 97. Okay, so we just got to spread them out. You know what? We're going to make another archer division here. Marco, you're going to have to be in charge of archers again, buddy. Maybe we'll give you a bow. We keep putting you in charge of archers. You guys got to give me easy names, right? Then I can remember it, like Marco. That's a great name. We've been rolling along with Marco. Marco's been part of the campaigns for a long time. I appreciate it, brother. Another one of our Patreon supporters. And Gudra. Gudra is starting to lead the 3rd Division. I think I'll pronounce her name like that, right? We'll throw on some sort of Russian sounding. It's Gudra. And we're going to have to do a lot of micromanaging in this siege because I'm just looking at the angles and I don't know how it's going to work out. There's a huge amount of stairs in this castle. Too many, right, to defend. And so we're going to have to see where the enemy approaches from. Is this the fire catapult? Okay, no, it's not. Well, yeah, let's still give them one for the road here, these punk-ass Vlandians. Yeah, come and get it, boys. Little closer, sweetie. Just right in the face. A whole bunch of high-velocity rocks. Headshot. Don't know when the headshot became popular. I think it was when I was young. You would snipe a guy in Quake. It'd say headshot and shit like that. Everybody aiming for the head. All right, we got this thing dead to rights. We're really vulnerable here. There's damage to the walls. And I don't like it. Look at all this shit's broken. There's not much cover here. And I don't have a shield. Oh no, I do have a shield. I thought I didn't wear my shield in. Well, it's still going to be problematic because of course you can't hold your shield up while you're on the catapult. So I'm not thrilled with this at all. This is I mean, we're going to be able to destroy this, but I want to throw these fireballs too. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to throw them. Every single time you go over to try to grab fireballs, you're getting smoked. I'm getting smoked just sitting here. But at least the mission is accomplished. The big key in Siege, you're much more likely to win if you can destroy that siege tower. And we got one of them down. They would be able to pile up troops right here if we didn't get that thing down. Let's try to get a couple shots here on the ram, although I am just so exposed. I don't think this is a thing. I don't think I'm going to stay here. I might do better throwing these, but honestly, this thing seems like a liability now, right? We're not going to be able to destroy the ram. We'd get shot to pieces. I'm getting shot just standing here. God damn. We're not going to be able to do this. You know what, though? I got the weapon right here for it, though. We did a little bit of damage, and let's just take this out, because these guys are getting killed just trying to mount that thing. So let's just break it, right? And now we got a little fire catapult pile there. At least we can use those later on. Maybe. I mean, if we don't get shot to death. It seems problematic. Now, there's a huge amount of troops rallying over by the ladders. That was inevitable, but that's okay, right? We've got some divisions over there. The other problem I'm looking at here is there's a long ways. Besides all these openings here, there's a huge distance between our two different enemy accesses. It's going to be very hard to micromanage, especially because I feel extra slow right now. I'm going to have to use the RTS mod. I think it's because I'm used to the speed banner and it's in the snow. You move even slower in the snow. We've got a shield. We don't have our speed banner. And so, you know, your fastest speed is in like the summertime on grass with the speed banner. And your character, it feels like they're a hot rod and they literally move 3 times as fast as this guy's moving right now. And I don't think, God, they have so many archers, I can't even get on the walls here for a second. You know, right now, I feel like paralyzingly slow. And these guys are already getting mauled off of their catapult. This is a tough Vlandian for us, Adam. I don't know, fellas. We're going to have to do some work, some magic here. This is definitely, you know, like an 8 or 9 as far as layout and difficulty siege defense. There's hardly any room here for our archers. And thank goodness we have 900 or 800 troops or whatever we have. What do we have, 800 something? We snuck in, so we lost a bunch. And the garrison was virtually gone by the time we got here. We've got really nice weapons here, though. We've got high-end, we've got like legendary noble bows here. This is a city we can't afford to lose, right? We've gotta defend this city here. If I had 500, we would still try this. And you see the distance between it, it's like a minute running in between. So the 2nd Division can open fire, but there's no room here, right? There's like a disheveled fucking wheelbarrow on fire. I can't tell. It's almost like the citizens destroyed the city before the enemy got here, like they pulled a Moscow, just burned the place down, so Napoleon just gets a rotting hulk. It worked against Napoleon, but it's, you know, obviously I'm joking. That's not a thing in Bannerlord. There's no raised ground tactics. There's no war of attrition where you starve the enemy out. You can't raid your own villages. I wish that was part of the game, right? That would be a great strategic element where you could, you know, fire off your own villages so that as the enemy comes in, damn, this guy here. It's of course the Sturgeons. They're just indestructible. They're not very good offensively, but man, are they tough with those shields. And they're just lobbing and javelins here, but these guys are going to aggro, and as soon as I said it, here they come. This isn't going to work. So this is why you can't put units close. Back up, boys. Look, they're getting swarmed. This is the weakness of this defense style, right? Is if the enemy starts to aggro your units, you get flooded. So we got to get these guys back. At least they're good troops. We can square them. I can bring in the 3rd. And this is exactly what I mean. This city's going to be nasty to defend. For those of you that like hand-to-hand combat, you are in for a treat. Strap yourself in. We get a little epic siege as part of our Epic Nord campaign. It wouldn't be an Epic Nord campaign or an epic campaign without some epic siege. And we've had some real doozies. And dare I say it can get a lot more epic than this. We've got the reinforcement system with them, right? And so the enemy, all of a sudden, they could get backdoored. There could be Northern Empire forces that pour in here. How amazing would that be? That's going to happen. If it doesn't happen in this battle, that's definitely going to happen in this campaign. It's just some of the most glorious parts of Bannerlord. All right. Problem fixed, or at least in the short term, but the enemy's absolutely stuffing that square. And I got to figure out some kind of archer fire over here. I wish there was a ledge right here. There isn't, though. We might be able to work some of these, but I'm so exposed. And as soon as you pick it up, you get shot at. Let's just throw a few of these terrorist style. We'll back our guys up here in a square. And then what we can do, of course, is lob these fireballs into the troops pursuing them. That's not bad, right? We killed a good solid 8 to 10. But it's not the huge death explosion you get when there's 20 or 30 troops packed up. Right? It's just not nearly as efficient. We have no support over here. What do we got? I'm going to need some other division. The 7th division, I guess we could pull over. I got the rocks in the gatehouse. Our units are strong enough to charge here, right? Yeah, see, that's not very... That was like a 1-to-1 kill ratio. Killed our own troops. The square just broke down. Oh, shit. We got to get that 2nd division in there. The 3rd division came over to help us here, and we've already got a breakdown. 7th, 8th. We need you over here, Marco. Let's get some firepower on the gate. We've got a square heading over there. How many troops are going to get in? Look at, they're zerging our archers. Fuck. Let's get busy, boys. And these are tough troops. God, it's already littered with bodies over here. It just is viscerally appealing. Oh, shit. We got slashed. Damn, they're zerging our archers here. Let's get that square shoved in there, close the gate, and then clean up this mess. We got to clean up on aisle gate. That's right. Run while you can, Vlandians. We're winning this fucking siege. I'm not losing this fucking siege. Not with our precious equipment here. Plus, we got the king, right? The Nord king would be rescued inadvertently by the Vlandians. Fuck that. That ain't happening. I got some plans for you, King Canute. Right now, we got him sitting on a horse. Sitting backwards on a horse, observing the action here. He's chained. He's chained to somewhere he can't escape or get injured and killed, and he's gonna watch us fucking kick ass. We do love our petty pleasures. I would have been a ghastly tyrant. I would have been like the Vlad the Impaler. That motherfucker would eat a banquet while people were fucking spitted right in front of him. He'd be like, this is great. Boil some people. That's for dessert. One of the legendary stories of Vlad the Impaler was, and I think he's the guy that a lot of the vampire, the Dracula legends are. Oh, look at these guys are tasty. These guys are right in front of us. One of the legends is he was being pursued. I'm sure there's some very knowledgeable people who will fire it up in the comments. He was being pursued. I got to admit, my Eastern Europe side of history is weak. I think he was, he was in the area of Hungary. Anyways, now that it's clear my ignorance is present, I still want to tell the story. He's being pursued, right? There's a larger force chasing after him, and he wanted to basically give them a psychological glimpse of who they were dealing with, right? Basically, use the old psychological warfare. And so he passed through a fairly large city, and there's multiple accounts. It's pretty well verified that something on the neighborhood of 15,000, and it's beyond pretty. It's horrifically ghastly. Were spitted. Men, women, and children were impaled. And if you don't know what that means, they would pound a fucking a spike into the ground, sharpen the end of it, and then shove you onto it in a variety of different ways, right? We're talking some truly horrific shit here. And then if you didn't die from that, which is almost like a crucifixion, then you would be pecked to death by crows and die of starvation and blood loss and exposure. I mean, truly horrific shit. Makes Bannerlord feel like a PG game, like it's Disney. They should add that in Palings, right? Then it would be a true adult, mature game. Vlad the Impaler would approve. So this other army encounters that, and they were so disgusted, so turned off by it, so revolted, and probably intimidated, realizing, well, that could be me on that pike if we lose the battle. Obviously, this guy has no mercy if he's willing to. There were instances, it's anecdotal. This is 500 years ago, where they said that the babies were impaled with their moms, right? So we're talking truly horrific, the kind of shit that even Hollywood would probably, they wouldn't even be able to get the movie onto the screen. Some rating agency would be like, this is way too horrific. We're not going to let you do this shit. But evidently that's what Vlad the Impaler did. And it worked. The enemy force turned the fuck around and said, we're out of here. You can only imagine what that does to morale. So we're going to charge here. We got Gudra and a bunch of Skjalbrstirs. Good night, right? This little rebellion is going to be quelled. But I got a problem here. I got body parts and blood stacking up on both sides here, and I'm at least a minute and a half away from my two different locations I'm trying to defend. What's the problem with that? I can't really micromanage the archers. They don't have enough room to really spread out enough to handle it. and there can be a breach where I don't realize it, right? The gate could be blowing open. The only way I'm going to know is if there's a huge amount of death spam. So we're going to be very active in this siege defense. The good news is, you know, we do have 800 troops probably, and maybe we've lost a quarter of that so far. Of course, you don't see the power bar because for sieges like this, I can tell you the power bar at the beginning looked fucking horrific, right? We were seriously underdogged, and I like to let it go. Would they just rout? No, I don't think they could rout already, right? Okay, that would have been surprising if the enemy routed already. In any case, you can't see it, and so I'm gonna edit it. Well, I can see it. I'm gonna edit it later on so that you guys get some suspense. And we're gonna have to do just a lot of fighting in this battle, right? Our archers. The bottom line is our archers have terrible angles, right? So we're gonna have to use infantry. I'm trying to sort of creatively stick archers divisions where they can shoot, but the angles are abysmal. And so you get a little window into Vlad the Impaler. Psychological warfare. I mean, there's a reason why the English kings would draw and quarter people and then put those body parts all over the London Bridge. The whole purpose of it is not because they were sadomasochists. It was a message, right? They're trying to intimidate people. Frankly, it's no different than what ISIS did. They were just doing it to fucking innocent people. Although, you know, I don't know if, you know, there's a lot of people that the English kings did to it that were probably innocent also. There's probably some Scottish guys listening saying, fuck them. Right? There's bad blood going back 1,000 years. And this is a problem, right? If I open the gate more, they just start to flood in. The archers have good line of sight now, but it opens up the gate too wide, right? And the enemy pours in. Our archers are going to get involved here. Everything I try is failing here. I'm trying to get creative with angles and stuff like that, and we keep on getting bloodied. It is a visual spectacle, though. It's absolutely delicious. Thank goodness it's a video game. There's just an unbelievable amount of guys getting hit with flaming fire arrows, and body parts are littering the blood-stained snow. There's shields and helms and... oh, shit. This is reinforcements pouring in, and it's kind of in a messy spot. Get the fuck out of here. Let's just pull you guys back. So we just got a bunch of reinforcements. Looks like there's guys over here, too. First, second. Looks like we got a whole bunch of archers in the 7th Division. 3rd. Pull them back. We just gotta... you don't want them all here because the enemy will zerg in, right? They're gonna chase all these guys. If that happens, we'll have to shove the gate and charge. I'll charge, but I don't really want to have to do that. What is this fucking division? There's 100. Why does it say there's 100 there? And this is exactly what I mean, right? The enemy's just zerging through the gate. This is literally the opposite of what I recommend for siege defense for you fellas. But I don't have much choice here, right? I didn't really think that much about the layout. You know, when you have 800 defenders, you're kind of willing to try whatever. But we can definitely lose this siege. It's like he lost his head. He's trying to defend and just gets chopped down. Man, we have a huge amount of archers here. It's actually a problem. It's like a noxious, huge line of archers. Now, the front line is spraying flaming arrows into everything. It's a glorious scene, but there's just way too many here. And I'm starting to wonder about the other side, right? Again, the longer I'm away from the other side, the more likely it is we're going to have a breach over there. So let's start anticipating that. Let's start peeling units back here. I'm going to send them basically through the back alleys here. I'm trying to triangulate them around here so that they don't have to run by the gate. If they run by the gate here, it'll aggro the shit out of the enemy troops. So try to send those guys around, neaten up the 6th. All right, that looks good. I hear yelling and screaming. That's disconcerting. I wonder if our divisions are breaking down on that other side. Marco's gaining levels. Love it, brother. Always some little stubborn fucker holds his shield up. And we got a good flamethrower going here now. I like it. Let's take a look at the other side here. We got a lot of reinforcements here. Although they're getting zerged. Shit. What do we got going on here? It looks like we've had a blowout over here. Fuck. All right, where's that 1st and 7th? We need those guys over here now. These are high-end troops, too. These are sergeants and shit. Fuck. I don't have much health. It's not like I can slug it out against 20 guys. All right, here they come. 1st Division's coming. Get off me, dudes. I'm trying to command troops to kill you. 1st, 7th. Let's see how bad this looks. Oh, it's pretty bad. They're just loose. They're all looking for the bar. Let's charge the 1st. We can bring in the 7th behind them. Thank God I triangulated those divisions. We got them here just in time. Otherwise, that enemy would be clamping us at the gate. All right, 1st, push in. 7th, follow me here. Get up there, guys. I don't even want you charging. I just want you fucking going up there. Get your asses that direction. And if this was a siege tower, we'd be fucked, because there'd be 150, 200 troops here. It would be incredibly bloody. Instead, because it's a ladder, it's a trickle. Right, we can handle a trickle and get guys put up here on the wall, split them, and we should be good. I don't think there's any more going in the back alleyways. It looks like there's a few pig piles left here, and now I got to check the gate. It's just a frantic run back and forth, and it's starting to turn into an exhausting siege here. I don't know how many more reinforcement waves we're going to get. So first, what is this? Is this Marco's division, the 8th? We can reset you guys here. I've got this division following me, 4th, 3rd. My brain is spinning in circles here. Okay, good. We've got shock troops here. Let's charge these fuckers at the gate here. We've got enough shock troops and not enough archers. Let's fucking put them in behind them here. Gudra and some other high-end shock troops can charge all these fucking Vlandians at the gate here, right up their asses. We can join the fray. The archers can still shoot because it's sort of a ranged false gap here. We're down to mediocre troops, too. These guys are going to get shredded. They're now pinched. And they just routed. I wonder... That might be it. Let's see what happens here. They made that sound earlier, though, too. Oh, it is over. Beautiful. And it is beautiful with gore. We still got, evidently, we got too much blood because my graphics are torquing out. But that was a fucking beautiful siege, and what a gory affair. It's so gory. The blurred effect makes it look like somebody's trying to censor it. It's trying to cover all the blood. Yeah, well, the whole screen would be fucking blurry. And there goes, 800 Vlandians. 850-something flee. 350. Yeah, so it makes sense they fled, right? We still had 500 troops, give or take. And they only had 1,000 left. This siege is in the books, and a great exhausting siege. They're exhausting for me. I love them. The stakes are high, and come with us, right? Wonder if the queen is with them. Queen Isegund. We'll have the queen and the king, and maybe we'll put them both on donkeys. And we're gonna wrap this episode up. Indeed, we have Queen Isegund. She looks kind of bitchy, right? Compared to our Epic Vlandian campaign where we were rooting for her. Now she kind of looks like a bitchy, a Karen, right? She's going to be complaining that there's no parking at her mega box store for her to go buy lots of donuts or whatever. You know what? I'm just going to take all these prisoners. I don't do this very often, but we could use the money, so let's just take them all. I'll do this off camera. In fact, I'm going to do a couple, 3 things off camera. We got to restock this garrison. Of course, this campaign continues. There's going to be a storyline. I'm planning on a cutscene. Actually, you know what? You guys have already seen the cutscene. I'm going to make a cutscene for King Canute, and we're going to roll on with both the storyline for this campaign and the campaign itself. What can you expect? Twists, turns, carnage, blood. There will be blood, right? That should be the episode name of one of these. Pick up Futhar here. He's back in our army, and we're going to wrap this episode up. Of course, if you want to see more carnage, more giant battles, you're in the right place. You could subscribe, hit notify. That way you know when new episodes come out. I'm aiming for 3 a week. Please hit that like button on the way out, friends. The hype button, whatever it is. And I will see you fellas next time.